President Trump's special envoy Steve Witkoff and son-in-law Jared Kushner, they are heading to Russia today to present the very latest version of the Ukraine peace proposal to Moscow. Ukraine's top national security officials met with Secretary of State Marco Rubio in Miami Sunday. Rubio says they have made progress, but there's still work to be done.
This is comprehensive, what we're working on here today. It's not just about the terms that ends fighting. It's about also the terms that set up Ukraine for long-term prosperity. I thought we started laying the groundwork for that, most certainly in Geneva. I think we continued that work in our communications throughout the week. I think we built on that again today, but there's more work to be done.
Joining us now, senior fellow at the Atlantic Council's Eurasia Center, Melinda Haring, who's also in Ukraine at the moment. Melinda, great to see you this morning. Thank you very much for your time. So in the past, I know you've noted major concerns from Ukrainians regarding winter conditions during wartime. What is the political climate in Ukraine right now with this possible peace deal in the works?
Hi, Kelly. It's great to be with you. So in Ukraine, people are wondering what's in the deal that's going to be offered. And I think that people are going to focus on security guarantees. I just heard Marco Rubio, you showed a clip of him talking about this agreement setting Ukraine up for long-term prosperity. What's telling is he didn't say long-term security. And there's not going to be a deal unless the U.S. can provide Ukraine with some kind of long-term security. So that's something that I'm definitely watching for. I'm also watching for a discussion about territory. In the previous version, Russia had envisioned freezing the conflict lines and forcing Ukraine to give up 12% of the territory it currently holds in the Donbass. And that's a non-starter here in Ukraine. So those are the big issues that I'm going to be watching for the next day or two.
Right. And, you know, Putin has said the war will end once Ukrainian troops withdraw from the territories they occupy. So not necessarily an encouraging message for Ukrainians. Also, another sticking point, not allowing Ukraine to become a NATO member. What are you anticipating? What are Ukrainians anticipating in terms of any potential movement on a deal this week?
Ukrainians are realistic. So it is dark and cold. And the sound that I hear on the streets in Ukraine is one of generators. So there's blackouts and there's brownouts. And people are relying on generators again just to do their jobs and make sure their houses are heated. No one here believes that there's going to be a deal this week. There's too many sticky points, and we haven't seen Russia show any desire to give or to compromise. And the issue of NATO, I don't think Ukrainians are very hung up on this. I think Ukrainians would love to have that. They know that it's the only way to guarantee their security, but they're also realistic and they know that it's off the table when it comes to the Germans in the U.S. So the question is, what kind of security guarantee can the U.S. provide, and how much air defense can the United States and Europe provide right now to keep Ukrainians in Ukraine? We just saw more strikes overnight, and we expect to see more. Putin is really increasing the pressure on civilians, and we see horrific images of strikes on cities, on schools, on hospitals, and it's ordinary people that are suffering.
Right. And, you know, so many have said even if Putin signs a deal, will he stick with it? No. So those security guarantees are going to be so key. I wanted to ask you about this, Melinda. You know, the president has said, President Trump, that corruption in Ukraine has not been helpful while working to hammer out this deal. This was after a top aide to Zelensky resigned, after that anti-corruption raid at his home. What has been the general sense or reaction to those developments where you are?
So the overall sense in Ukraine is one of relief. Ukraine changed massively after 2014. It experienced a massive democratic revolution, and Ukrainians want to live in a European way. They do not want to live in the old post-Soviet corrupt cesspool that Moscow would love to impose on Ukraine. So Ukrainians have turned a corner, and there's zero tolerance to corruption. So people are glad that the chief of staff, Andriy Yermak, is gone. They're glad that the justice minister and another minister was dismissed as well. And Ukrainians are outraged that people are stealing during the war. So the atmosphere here is one of relief and also a really strong sense of betrayal. And they're upset at Zelensky that he tolerated this corruption scandal for as long as he did.
Melinda Haring, it is wonderful to have your voice this morning. Please stay safe. Thank you for checking in.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.